24.7. Today we're going to do creative arts collaboration, fantasy art, and we're making a tool can. I know it doesn't sound very fantastical, but it will be it will be fantastical. Okay? So we're using some Sculpting. Yeah. And you just kind of condition it, which means you're basically warming it up. And this is not Sculpey. This Sculpey that I used, you saw the box, is not as hard as the Fimo. That I can't do because of my hand issues. But this one works pretty good once I got it, warmed up. Not that it was really cold. And you want to make sure you dust your mold, especially your silicone molds, with cornstarch, and I believe in Europe it's considered corn flour. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. So you take a ball that's what you think is going to be as much as you need, and you make it into basically a Hershey Kiss, the chocolate candy shape, so that when you put it in there, it kind of feels in your nose and you don't necessarily end up with an air bubble there. And this particular, I had too much, so I'm just pulling off some of the excess and setting it aside, and then I'm going to work around my mold there. This is a handmade silicone mold that I made myself, and there will be a future video on that. I'm not sure when that will be at, just so, yeah. And I'm working it around so that I kind of have smooth edges, and I'm showing you that you really want it fairly flat. And it's really best if you refrigerate your mold for, 2 to 5 minutes. It allows your clay to get cold, and it's easier to pop out of the silicone mold. But I just wanted to mess with it, and yeah, so it's coming. You'll see it's coming in. It's getting here. You don't really want to pull it because you don't want to distort your mold, otherwise you'll have to redo it. And so I'm just squishing around the outside there, smoothing out the rough edge, and well, that's what you have to do, when you're using mold and stuff. And because my mat on my desk there is silicone, I want to make sure I keep a piece of wax paper between me and the clay, because silicone stuff sticks to stuff, which is part of the reason I like it. Things don't slide around too much on there. So I'm just working around, and yeah, now I'm going to come in, I'm going to make some marks, and I'm touching up some areas that I'm just touching up some areas. And I had these plastic kid tools. They didn't work so good. Oh, and if you're going to stamp into it to make marks on your face, because this is face or anything else you use, you want to make sure you dust those with the cornstarch / corn flour as well. You don't want any stickage. I have since bought a professional set of metal sculpting tools with coupon. Always use a coupon. And there we go. And just touching up some areas that have little wrinkleages in it. Now, because she's going on a tool can, I want to pre-bake her 5 minutes, I think it was. You want to read your manufacturer's instructions, but because I'm going to put her on the can, I wanted her pre-baked so that when I stuck her on there, I didn't squish her all up. Does that make sense? Yeah, don't squish her all up. So now I'm taking some more of the same Sculpey, and it's already warmed up, as you can see, and I'm smashing it on the can. Now, this is my suggestion if y'all going to do something like this. Paint the inside of your can first. Gives you a finished look. Also, bring your clay onto the bottom part of your can. Gives you a more finished look. But because this is for me and I had no intentions of gifting it or selling it or blah, 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 Okay. Now, I wanted to get rid of my fingerprints and all the super indented parts, so I grabbed this, I don't know, I don't know what it was, a doily-like thing. And excuse me, I gotta reach for my cord because I gotta plug up the computer. It's gonna die. I wrapped that around there, and y'all saw me rolling it. And now I'm just kind of smashing around with my hands and fingers there because I'm trying to get rid of my fingerprints because they're not necessarily attractive. Now, if you want to leave your fingerprints, leave your fingerprints. If you have some kind of thing you can roll out, you could even use rubber stamps or acrylic stamps on this. So here's my pre-baked cooled. She is cooled. The face is cooled. And now I'm going to make a snake to fill in. You can see the little gap because can is round. Her back of her head is flat. I'm calling it a her because I do girl faces. So I'm just making a snake. Rather have too much than not enough. Musical interlude. And you're going to see that I'm wrapping that around her head. Well, maybe you're going to see because, it all depends on when I get back on screen. And that's to blend the head into, this is why you want to partially pre-bake the head because Sculpey, this is a bake clay. Okay, stuff. So I'm going to work around that edge because I figure if I can see where I've connected the face with the other part of the can while it's wet, so to speak. It's not really wet, but while it's unset, you will definitely be able to see it once I add paint because that tends to really show blemishes and cracks and all that kind of stuff once you add paint. So I'm working it around. I'm using the tail end of a paintbrush, as you may be able to tell. And I just keep piddle-farting with that for a while. And it's heavy, that's why it wants to roll, and that's why I took my doily and put it on that side so that, again, I wouldn't necessarily be working my fingerprints back into that. And just keep messing with it. And messing with it, and messing with it, and messing with it. Oh, I said that. Well, let's just have a little musical interlude. For me, for you, for just we two. Doesn't. Now I'm smashing around that doily around it because I want to, like I said, I'm trying to blend it in. And that's going to give the texture to it, and it worked out pretty good. Now we're going to paint it because it's already been baked. You have to bake it before you paint it. As you can see, I'm showing you I'm trying to show you that it's baked and it's all nice and hard. So I used those 3 colors. And a list of ingredients below in the description box, my peoples. Oh, did I mention this was a hashtag CAC Fantasy Art event? It is Creative Arts Collaboration. Search for us on the YouTube and you will just have we're hoping tons of videos by various artists, and surely you're going to be able to find a few other videos that you're going to enjoy watching. Not sure if they're all, they all should be probably process videos. Maybe there's some flips, I don't know. But it's on the theme of fantasy, and now maybe you're catching on why my tool can is in the fantasy category. Makes me happy. I hope it makes you happy. Those are PBO studio paints, studio acrylic paints in the Dyna. It's not Dynaflow, but it's Dyna. They have an iridescent quality to them. One direction they look mostly this color, and from the other direction they look mostly another color. So it's pretty cool. Heat gun, everybody. I'm just trying to paint, and Yep, going back over a few places. In a minute, I'm going to scorch out some gold. I don't know that you necessarily see that part. And then I use my finger on that very lightly because I'm not going for full coverage. I'm just going for a basic skimming over, just a little glance of gold here and there. And we're about done. We're almost ready to go into our photo montage. So, yeah, you got almost a full minute worth of photos, maybe, if we ever get there. Yeah, it's coming up right about now. And I took various photos and twisted her around so you could see more or less. It just makes me happy. Now you could put beans, or most probably put beans down in your can to hold your tools, pens, paintbrushes. You could not put beans in it. You could just put candy in it if you wanted some candies. So yeah, we're gonna wrap this up pretty quick back at the front. I hope you enjoyed, and like I said, please be sure to search for hashtag CAC Fantasy Art, and that will lead you to lots of artists and lots of videos for you to peruse and enjoy. Please be sure to like, share, and comment. Thanks for watching, and happy arting, y'all.